Coming up on this week's episode of Theme Park Worldwide the show, I'm back here at the World of Theme Parks, where this week I'm going to be talking about the layout of Europe's longest dive coaster coming to Liseberg next year. I'm also going to be talking about a brand new Slagharen Infinity coaster that has just opened last week, and finally news on a brand new ride coming to SeaWorld over in Orlando. I'm Shawn Sanbrooke, this is Theme Park Worldwide the show, and that means it's time to cue those titles. Welcome to this week's episode of the show. Hope you've enjoyed all our videos from Portaventura. Me and Charlotte had an absolutely fantastic time, and I really do hope you've enjoyed the vlogs. Of course, we've got our travel vlog, something very different that we tried, but we're looking through all the feedback on that, and it's great to see that you guys enjoyed us doing something a little bit different here on the channel. We're always open to feedback, so make sure you comment below with your thoughts on that. Of course, we had our vlog from the opening day of Ferrari Land. It was awesome. We had a really good time, and as I mentioned in that vlog, the whole feel of the park was fantastic. It was also on location episode of the show last week, so if you didn't get a chance to see that, it's well worth watching, where you get to see us on location in Ferrari Land and of course Portaventura Park itself. Then we've got of course the main two-part vlog from Portaventura. It was awesome. Charlotte got to ride Shambhala. You hear her thoughts to that. The likes of Hurricane Condor, Stampeder, Furious Baco, all the other Portaventura classics. They really are some of the best vlogs we've ever done here on the channel, so make sure you check them out from me and Charlotte's trip. In terms of other videos, we've had plenty of on and off rides gone online on the channel over the past week. It really has been a very busy time for Theme Park Worldwide. Of course, we got another episode of Let's Play Planet Coaster that went online. There'll be another one of those to come this week. So overall, there's been a hell of a lot going on the channel. It really has been the busiest week for me of the season so far, and it's about to get busier. In a couple of days, I'm off out to Liseberg over in Sweden with Martin. It's been 2 years since I went there, so I didn't get to ride Aerospin when that opened last year. That's a Gerstlauer Skyfly they've got up on the hill. Very similar to Skyforce, except this is the tower version of the ride where it lifts you up and then spins you round at the top, where you use the wings to spin yourselves upside down. So I look forward to getting on that. Like I say, 2 years since I last went. I love that park. I absolutely love Helix. Martin's been there before, but of course I've not been with him on Theme Park Worldwide before. I've never actually visited the park with him, so it'd be great to see what Martin thinks to the park, and of course I know he loves Helix, so we'll get those thoughts all captured on camera, and it'll be a really nice trip out there. We're on park for 2 days, this Saturday and Sunday, so make sure you check out on our Instagram. We'll be doing an Instagram story. I really like those. It's like a cool version of Snapchat, and of course I'll have live updates on the main Instagram page, Facebook and Twitter as well, so make sure you do stay tuned for that one. Quite a bit of news to get through then this week, so it's now time for a little bit of news off the rails. So firstly then, let's talk a little bit about the new rides coming to Liseberg. Now we're going to get to go on the brand new Intamin Gyro swing known as Loki this weekend. That forms part of a brand new area, brand new project for the park, Myths and Legends. Balder's a part of that. Loki, the Intamin Gyro swing that opens this Saturday, that's part of it. And of course the dive coaster, that was announced a couple of months back too. Their brand new dive coaster going by the name of Valkyrie. I can't say the name very well. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm awful at pronouncing names, but I try my best with that one. But the important facts are it's a B&M dive coaster, and it's Europe's longest dive coaster. Now we saw lots of images and stuff like that, and it looks absolutely fantastic. In fact, I've got a couple of new concept images to show you just here coming up at the side. You can really see how it's going to have a nice theme to it. The station looks gorgeous. The whole feel of that area is going to be great. Of course, you've got Mechanica just to the side of it as well. This has replaced Kanonen, which was the Intamin accelerator coaster what was at the park. It'll be weird going there actually and not getting on Kanonen. It was not a bad ride. I actually preferred it to Rita at Alton Towers. Of course, it does seem a bit pointless them keeping Kanonen when they've got Helix just up on the hillside. So this was a good move for the park. But finally, we've got a layout for this brand new dive coaster. I'm going to show you the video now that was released just last week from the park, and this looks absolutely awesome. Like I say, it's Europe's longest dive coaster, 750 metres long. It's got a 50-metre drop straight down into an underground tunnel and features 3 inversions. You've got an Immelman on there, a 0G roll, and also a Heartline roll as well. The theming looks awesome, the layout looks great. So over the next minute or so, I'll show you this POV release from the park. Here's what Valkyrie is going to look like. how awesome does that look? And standing down there in that area is going to be absolutely fantastic. Myths and legends, what a really nice theme to go for. And it's very rare that you go to a park and they have two big coasters inside one themed area. So I'm looking forward to walking down in there. I can just imagine it. You've got Mechanica going round at the side, which is the Sierra Star shape that was added a few years back. You're going to have this massive dive coaster, Loki going off at the side as well, the gyro swing, and then Balder sat right at the back, which is a top class wooden roller coaster. It's really enjoyable, that ride, and I can't wait to be back on that Saturday as well. It's going to be a really good vlog out there with me and Martin. Of course, we'll share our thoughts on the whole myths and legends area, how it's starting to come about, and of course get some early construction updates on the dive coaster as well. We'll see how much has been done there. I know that Canonan's literally only just been removed, so I don't think we'll see much else going on around the site, but you never know, we'll start to see the land clearing and a bit of an idea where it's going to go, hopefully. So very exciting. I tell you what's also very exciting, a Gerstlauer roller coaster that just opened last week. You might be thinking, hang on a minute, Shawn's not a big fan of Gerstlauer. If you're not up there with your manufacturers, basically Gerstlauer, they're down there at the cheaper end of the ride manufacturers. You've got B&M up here, you've got Mack, you've got Intamin, and then you've got right down the bottom, you've got your Gerstlauer, your Zamperla, and then you've Vekoma somewhere in the middle between them all. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Gerstlauer coasters. I find them quite rough, not that enjoyable. But there was a couple that I did last year, both of them on the June mega trip, that I really enjoyed. You had the one at Movie Park Germany, and that was great, Van Helsing's Factory, which was a bobsleigh coaster, they call it, from Gerstlauer, but it's basically a dark coaster. It was inside and it was awesome. Check out the vlog from that. And we also did Anubis the Ride over at Plopsaland. That was great also. This is a Gerstlauer that looks awesome. I'm not going to get to go and ride it this year, unfortunately, even though we're going quite close to Slagharen, the park where it's at, but we couldn't quite squeeze it in, unfortunately, on this trip. But it does look awesome. The coaster is themed around 1848 California Gold Rush, and it looks great. Again, I'm going to show you a POV. It's not very long, this one, under a minute, but it looks fantastic. Like I say, it's an LSM launch Gerstlauer Infinity coaster, reaches around 55 miles per hour, and let's just say this looks absolutely awesome. It's good to see that Gerstlauer are making some better rides now, and some of these look quite enjoyable. So here is Gold Rush. It opened last week over at Slagharen. Just how awesome does that look from the POV? Really surprised with that coaster. I mean, we first heard about it last year, looked into it and I thought, you know what, yeah, I'm sure it'll be okay. But now seeing the POV, I think that looks awesome. Quite good I can't get out to that this year. It's just one of those parks that I really want to get to, but other things have always taken priority. But now that's there, that'll definitely become in my next line of parks to visit, along with the likes of Mirabilandia over in Italy. I really want to get to that park over in Europe. Holiday Park as well, just down the road from Europa Park. It's not far away at all. I really want to get there and check out Expedition G-Force. Some of these parks you might be surprised that I've not been to, but you've got to save some to visit, I guess, and they're definitely in the next sort of line that I want to go and see. Anyway, back over to Orlando now, my final bit of news this week, and that's from SeaWorld Orlando. Now SeaWorld's making a lot of big changes over the past few years, which is good to see in my eyes. I think it's nice they're moving away from what they were before and installing a lot of new rides and attractions across the parks. Of course, you had the Map Mega Coaster over in San Diego, Electric Eel, which is opening there as well, which looks very good. Along with that, Orlando had Mako, the hyper coaster, the Busch Gardens side of the company. Of course, that's all owned by SeaWorld as well. They put in Cobra's Curse. So yeah, it's good to see them moving forward with some really, really good rides. I mean, Mako is a fantastic coaster. Why am I calling it Moko? Yeah, Mako is a fantastic hyper coaster, 200 foot tall, opened at SeaWorld in Orlando last year, and it was a great investment. Now they're going for a new water ride. They've already got got Journey to Atlantis there, but they're going for something else. They're going for a rapids ride, and it's going to be called Infinity Falls, and this is going to open in summer next year, summer 2018. Now this is the little press release spot from the park. They've said, to bring Infinity Falls to life, designers were inspired by the rainforests of South America and the flowing rivers found within. Each raft will twist and turn through a lush jungle environment. I like the sound of that, a lush jungle, some good theming, as guests experience the feel of exhilarating a class sort of one rapids. A unique vertical elevator will lift each raft up to the top, and then it'll be a dramatic launch down into the river, a 40-foot drop there. It's actually going to be the biggest drop on a rapids in the world, this one, manufactured by Intamin, which is interesting. There's some good Intamin water rides out there. I mean, they've done a lot of rapids and stuff, a lot of shoot-the-shoot style rides, so that's interesting. But Infinity Falls is going to be the centrepiece of a newly themed area, fully immersing guests in a rainforest canopy. So what we're going to expect to see here, it says it's a new themed area, so I expect to see some more interactive animal exhibits, all that kind of stuff, and then you've got the main highlight, which will be this rapids itself. Like I say, it's very exciting stuff for the park. What's not quite as exciting is Kraken virtual reality. Kraken Unleashed will open on June the 16th with a newly themed queue line, that sounds good, and a free virtual queue system. There's actually a big fence all around it at the moment whilst they do that, and I believe a fence is also going up around where Infinity Falls is going to be as well. So we'll definitely be covering that here on Theme Park Worldwide, and it makes me think that a trip to Florida might be needed again next year. Quite a bit of new stuff to see. Avatar Land over at Disney, which of course opens later this year. Again, I can't get out there this year, unfortunately. But yeah, next year could definitely be a return trip over to Orlando. Great to see the developments over at SeaWorld. I know it's a very controversial park, but in terms of rides, what they've done over the past couple of years is really good, and hopefully that's more going to be their focus as SeaWorld move forward with their additions. So welcome to Merch Paradise. It's a bit of a special one this week. Now if you follow us over on Instagram, Twitter or Facebook, you'll know that yesterday I went back to Drayton Manor. Of course last week I went to do the vlog and I went there on my own for the day out. Charlotte was free yesterday, so me and her just went for a nice romantic day out at the park back at Drayton Manor. We actually went for our first date there nearly 4 years ago now, so it's quite a special park for us. I know we went there, and of course I'm quite friendly with a lot of the management there. I know a lot of the people, and one guy from maintenance obviously knows that I love the park that much and love getting certain items from them. Of course he was kind enough to give me an Apocalypse restraint from a couple of years ago, a couple of the seats from Apocalypse, and now he's also given me something from Pirates Adventure. Now Pirates Adventure is one of those rides that has always been one of those for me. It's very special. Yes, it's nowhere near as good as Pirates of the Caribbean over at the Disney parks, and it didn't try to be. It was just a fun version of it that I always enjoyed riding. It made me think, oh, you know what, this is really nice, I want to go back to Disneyland at some point. Unfortunately that attraction's been closed for a couple of years now, so I've been given this. It's a wheel from Pirates Adventure. I mean, look at that. You wouldn't expect the wheels to look like that, would you, really, for a boat ride? Obviously these are underneath. This is actually really, really heavy. This is probably nearly as heavy as my Swarm wheel, which is of course a B&M wheel there from the Swarm at Thorpe Park. But yeah, obviously this was underneath, and it's sort of, this is what you'd hear on them sort of boat rides, bashing up against the sides of the trough. There you go. So thank you very much to the guys over at Drayton Manor. We had another great day. No further updates to really mention here on the channel at the park. Stormforce 10 still closed at the moment, and hopefully that's going to reopen in May. But thanks to the guys over at Drayton Manor for that. I'll always take anything what you've got going here for the world of theme parks. I do love collecting these very special items, and it's thanks to guys like you at the parks that really let me keep them here at the world of theme parks. So thank you so much for that, and I'll see you again soon, Drayton.
You're like a roller coaster, move and shake me side to side. Yes, then I know, but I make it right like a roller coaster.
So it is time for Name That Coaster. Now last week I was at beautiful Portaventura. I was stood there with Shambhala's water splash in the background. It was absolutely beautiful. Some of you thought that I was trying to trick you guys and put it on as Shambhala, with it being the sound of the coaster going on behind me. The eagle-eyed viewers will notice that I did mute the audio and I did bring up some other audio, and that was last week's Name That Coaster, which was Rake, a Vekoma Junior boomerang from Fantasyland. It actually opened along with the rest of Klugheim and Taron, and that was last week's Name That Coaster. Show another one. This is another ride that I've not yet experienced, but I hope to in the next couple of years, maybe next year actually, for this one. So here we go. It's time for this week's Just for Fun Name That Coaster. Quite a long one this week. And stop. There we go. So remember, just for fun, all you need to do is comment down below. I do read all the comments here on the channel, so make sure you do comment down below. If you look like you're struggling, I might just help you out within reason. And then next week I'll reveal what that coaster was, along with announcing another one here on Theme Park Worldwide, the show. So before I end this week's episode of the show with CPW Showcase, just a quick reminder to keep your questions coming in for question time here on the show. Now each week 4 different questions will get picked out, and then I'll read them out here on the show with the answers. Send in your questions. All you need to do is message them in either on the Theme Park Worldwide Instagram page or Facebook page. So keep your questions coming in, and then next week I'll read out 4 more with the answers here on the show. Now it is time for the biggest TPW showcase that we've had all year so far. So much to get through. You guys have been loving sending the photos in. So let's kick straight in with our first photo, which is Oscar outside the Swarm at Thorpe Park. Thanks for sending that in, Oscar. Tina's got a Troubles and Trucks on ride photo here from Thomas Land at Drayton Manor. EJ had a photo with Charlotte. Thanks for stopping us. Really enjoyed meeting you at the parks. We've got Ryan with a vampire on ride photo. Next up we've got me and Charlotte here, who had a photo with Spridley, so thank you very much for sending in that. Adrian and family had a photo here at Alton Towers. Lily had a photo here with me. Next up then we've got Lewis with a smiler on ride photo, so thank you for sharing that one. Kyra had a group photo with us just there. It was great to meet you all, thanks for having a photo. Adam and Millie had a photo with me just here as well. We've got Ashley, who also had a photo there with me. You can see where this is going, can't you? Louis there, who had a photo with me as well. Next up, we've got a Smiler on-ride photo, so thank you for sending that in for us on the show. Cupcake Cutie had a photo there with me. I hope you like your cupcakes as much as I do. I really enjoy them, especially pink one with, you know, like the silver balls that you can get on top. Yeah, I really like those cupcakes. Thanks for sending that in. Ben with a Splash Canyon on-ride photo from Drayton Manor. Paul with a Saw the Ride on-ride photo from Thorpe Park. We've got Nigel with a Ripsaw Falls on-ride photo. Thanks for sending that one in. Next up then we've got Oliver with Oblivion on-ride photo. Jason here had a photo with Mr. Lee Wood himself, so thank you very much for sending that one in. Ryan has got a Dragon Con t-shirt, so thanks for sharing a photo of that one. That looks absolutely awesome. Mark has got a Frontierland Morecambe thimble. Frontierland looked like a really good park, and that's a fantastic piece of merchandise that you've got there. I'm quite jealous of that one, so thanks for sharing it. Thomas has got a photo here of some ride parks that he has got. Thanks for sending them in there, Thomas. And finally, Billy with his merchandise collection just there as well. Thanks to all of you photos that you sent in this week. And in just a second, I'll remind you how to keep them coming in for next week's episode of Theme Park Worldwide, the show. Firstly, it's those TPW birthdays. Happy birthday to Dylan, to Kelly, to Summer, and Adam and Jamie as well. Happy birthday to all of you from us here at Theme Park Worldwide. If you'd like to send anything in for TPW Showcase, all you need to do is message it in over on the Theme Park Worldwide Facebook page. Make sure you don't forget to drop us a like whilst you're there as well. We've always got competitions, live updates, links to our videos, so much going on, so make sure you check it out. Also, our Instagram's got very popular at the moment. Check it out over there. We're always doing Instagram stories now. I really find that quite awesome. Bit like Snapchat, but I prefer it on Instagram. I think it works really well. So check that out. It's a little bit different than we're doing our vlogs, so make sure you do check that out over on Instagram. Drop us a follow there, and also on Twitter as well. We're on Twitter at ThemeParkWW. That is it for this week's episode of the show. I hope you've enjoyed it. It really has been a jam-packed couple of weeks on here on Theme Park Worldwide, and it's set to get even busier as we get even closer to me and Alex's massive trip, the biggest trip we've ever done on Theme Park Worldwide, our Asia mega trip. We're going to Shanghai Disneyland, we're going to Tokyo Disneyland, we're going to Hong Kong Disneyland, we're going to Fuji Q, Ocean Park, so much other stuff to see. It's going to be absolutely fantastic and some of the best content we've ever had here on the channel. I'll be back next Wednesday with another episode of the show. I hope you enjoy the videos throughout this week, and that means it's time to cue those credits. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching.